What is going on, you fucking martards out there? It is Sunday, alright? And we're competing with the Solid Monster where he's gonna get his show up. Now I'm just fucking around. It's Sunday. Um, Death Before Dishonor. We couldn't, give you a show last night because Q was having some sunspot problems with his Wi-Fi. The power grid is just listen, it's hot as fuck in the tri-state area, all right? The whole country, God turned the thermostat up to 100. And when the Bible says the earth is going to end by fire, maybe this is what it was talking about. All right? Maybe the sun was the fire that it was talking about. Even if you're an atheist and you believe that global warming will be the death of us, climate change, well, that's still fire, because if it's getting this hot, something. Listen, man, the Bible ain't far off, all right? But let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about the man right now, my broadcast colleague, my broadcast brother, my co-host, all right? The one who's out there teaching in these mean streets. You see, I can't be beating these mean streets, but the professor is out there teaching in these mean streets. He can teach in these mean streets, all right? And just so you know, if you didn't know before, now you're going to know now. He is the most scholarly, the most effervescent, the most objective, the most magnanimous, the most stupendous, and the king of the motherfucking hoopla, and the most glorious man in the IWC, YWC, PWC, TWC punditry, the Professor Chabelo de la Cruz, the man who finally got to see Death Before Dishonor last night, so we can get this show up, or this morning whenever he saw it. But I'm glad he got to see it. Prof, what's going on, man?
What's going on, A-Track? What's going on, Hustle Lights? Yeah, I mean, I had sunspot issues. I had Wi-Fi issues. I couldn't see it live. It was jumpy. So I said, you know what? I'll wait till the morning and see it uninterrupted. And then I'm glad I did. It was a good pay-per-view, decent pay-per-view. And already, I'll say this right now, spoiler alert, another Professor's Perspective award has already been closed. It's already been sealed. The Tag Team of the Year has already been, that voting is already closed. FTR is the Tag Team of the Year. So, 2 awards for the Professor's Perspective prestigious awards has already been closed.
Oh, there you have it, man. So the professor's already made up his mind. I also would like to say I don't think that match will be topped. It's possible, but highly unlikely. Did I lose the professor? Hold on. Let's just see. There he goes. Okay. Will that match be topped? It's highly unlikely. From what I understand, before we get into this pay-per-view, there is another tag match in the works that could be real fucking awesome, which is the Lucha Brothers versus Rush and Rush and Andrade El Idolo. That match has potential to top it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're going to talk Death Before Dishonor. Overall, I thought the show was pretty good. Not perfect, but I thought it was good. It was satisfying. Had I actually paid for it, I would have felt I got my money's worth. So we're not going to get into the pre-show shit because we didn't see the pre-show. We were busy recording, and we didn't see the pre-show. I missed the first 6 minutes of the main event opening match, and I had to go back to watch that match from the beginning. And before we even get into that, because we have some Wango Tango breaking news, Johnathan Gresham has asked for his release from ROH. From what I understand, there was a big argument or shouting match between him and Tony Khan. He cursed out Tony Khan. I don't blame that nigga. I'm pretty sure he had his reasons, but there's a lot of.
Did you notice how weird that match was? No matter what. First of all, it started the pay-per-view. That was the first problem I think Johnathan Gresham had. Remember, we have always laughed about WWE. If the Universal title starts the pay-per-view, or the World Heavyweight title starts the pay-per-view, we always laugh at Vince McMahon for doing that. So it's the same thing. Tony Khan chooses to have the ROH title start the pay-per-view. Main event quality match. I mean, I gotta understand why FTR and BRISCOES ended the pay-per-view. That was a main event quality match, but tradition is tradition. The heavyweight title should be the last, match of the night.
No arguments from me. I have said this before, and I have said it again. In no way, shape, or form should a fucking title match be opening a fucking show. Like you, if you want to make an excuse for it on regular television, it's still stupid to me. But I can kind of probably understand if the situation is given. But on a pay-per-view, on a show like this, nah. Now, if that was one of the reasons why they got into an argument, Johnathan Gresham had every single right to fucking be pissed. I don't know what the details are. They're gonna come out later on, but he had every reason to be upset.
That whole match was distorted from the jump because number one, Tully Blanchard wasn't there. I don't know why he wasn't there.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Yep.
Number two, the match wasn't. Yeah, number two, the match wasn't consistent with the storyline build that they had on Dynamite and Rampage. The way Johnathan Gresham was kind of like cheating, he was a little bit more aggressive and all that stuff. He fought like he was the good guy foundation ROH guy. I was like, why is he going backwards? And then two, Cesaro dominated him. I was like, wow, Cesaro, like he's beating him like a rent mule. This is like a Roots, in reverse or some shit like that. I was like, this shit was embarrassing to Johnathan Gresham. It was like he was not. Tony Khan didn't even respect that Johnathan Gresham was the last official ROH champion before it went on hiatus. That's the way it looked to me. And I'll say this. It was just a matter of time because Tony Khan wanted his guys to be ROH champions in his new ROH regime. So I knew Johnathan Gresham's time was up. You had Wheeler Yuta as the pure champion. You got FTR as the tag team champions, and now you got his own world heavyweight champion in Cesaro. Oh, I'm sorry, Claudio Castagnoli.
And let's be clear about this. Something is going on with Tully. We don't know because Prince Nana. And this happened in the pre-show. I didn't see the pre-show. When I turned it on, I saw Prince Nana out there. I was like, "Holy shit, Prince Nana is out there!" And I'm like, "Why is he out there?" I thought he was out there for Cesaro, but I'm like, that can't be because Cesaro was with Blackpool Combat Club. Did something happen? But people were telling me, during the match about, what was going on in the pre-show. So I was confused. I still am confused over that shit. But apparently, in terms of storyline, Prince Nana bought he bought Tully Blanchard Enterprises. Oh, okay. And the embassy is back. Listen, let me tell you something. We're fans of Prince Nana. We love the Prince. So we're very happy to see the embassy being back. I'm all for it. But now you got Johnathan Gresham asking for his release because he was not happy with either the booking position, the way the match went down. And let me say this, though. No matter how he felt, he kept it professional, Austin Aries. Okay? He kept it professional. He did his job. He did the job. And now it's all about the weight game. Now, what I want to say, because I'm starting to see this, the culture ain't happy, of course. Every time a black wrestler loses in AEW, it's some type of racial conspiracy. Niggas is wanting
that's all around. That's WWE too. So let's keep it
real.
No,
but no. Well, with WWE, let's be real. Niggas is losing their titles in 8 seconds. Niggas is only having title runs for a short amount of time. Bobby Lashley is the only one that we can really say, had a cool run and didn't lose his title in a matter of fucking seconds. But in this instance, you got a lot of people that are not happy. A lot of people in the culture who aren't happy. And I was actually going back and forth with some of those people because I've said it before and I've said it again. Can you tell me anyone in AEW right now, since everybody wants to talk about ratings and casuals and this, that, and the third, can you name me anybody? And you write it in the comment section. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it fair. Give me your list of wrestlers because apparently people want a black champion now. They don't want a build-up. They don't want to see if these guys got the skills, can get over with the crowd like that. So who do you want to see as black champion in AEW or ROH? Now, let's talk about how you're going to restart ROH. Q, if you're restarting ROH, right? Who will you go with as your champion? Johnathan Gresham, who through no fault of his own is like fucking 5'4" or five. I think the man is shorter than his wife. I'm not size shaming. I don't. I'm not gonna shit on any wrestler who's short. It's not their fucking fault. You can't do anything about your height. But if I'm gonna restart this promotion, I have Johnathan Gresham. I have Claudio, aka Cesaro or FKA Cesaro, who's coming in from the WWE with a lot of light on him, and to point out what this guy said. What's his name? Marco Stunt. He said Tony Khan has a high for former WWE wrestlers, which I can understand. Which goes into why I thought it was so stupid. I don't know if Cody said it or if Tony Khan said it, that they're not trying to fill their rosters up with WWE guys. Like, nigga, no, you want to fill your roster up with WWE guys, and you want to show that you can book them better than the WWE. Some guys, I think, are getting booked better. Some guys, I think, are still in the same limbo they were in the WWE, just have a little bit more TV time, just a little bit more respect. But bottom line is, I'm not going to start ROH off with Johnathan Gresham as my champion. First of all, he wasn't making no waves at all, through no fault of his own. It ain't his fault. ROH shut down. They weren't doing any shows. He had a couple of injuries that he had to deal with as well. He was in Impact defending his championship. I saw it. You know, if you didn't see it, that's on you. If you don't watch Impact, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. If you call yourself a wrestling fan, that is.
And he did the Terminus title matches too.
He did the Terminus, yeah. So a lot of shit that happened with this dude was not of his own doing. So if you want to look at his representation as champion as not a good run, you have to take in consideration it's not all on him. But in general, let's just if this was Vince McMahon, okay, since people have a problem with Tony Khan, you think Vince McMahon would have went with fucking Johnathan Gresham over freaking Cesaro? He probably would have just brought in somebody else.
He probably would.
But Cesaro is Swiss. I forgot. Yeah. But looking at the size of Johnathan Gresham, like, come on, man. It's not a pragmatic idea to go with Gresham when you're restarting this company and you want a TV deal. You know, what I would like to see is somebody. If they're gonna have another black champion in ROH, that's fine. Just having somebody that can, get the crowd going and that can be a good representation for ROH. Not to say that Johnathan Gresham wasn't, but that's not really the guy you want as the face of your company. And I think the story of Claudio never winning a championship came into play. The booking decision, like I said, of it in terms of what they were doing with Gresham, of him, being with Tully and just turning heel, and now, you have this. So there's a lot of shit going on backstage. And listen, I'm sure a lot of people are going to speculate and come up with their own fucking theories. But like I said, I'm not mad at Gresham for being pissed off at Tony Khan at all. I'm sure he has every fucking reason to be pissed. Tony Khan don't get no passes from me.
Yeah, I'm not mad either, but I guess I can speculate here with him asking for a release. I think, look at it this way, Track. This is a speculation from the professor. I'm not saying this is true, but why would someone who just became All Elite want to be released so quickly? You know what I mean? He signed with Tony Khan. So maybe he thought, not about him being the champion, unless he's a mark for himself. Sometimes that happens with wrestlers. You believe in the hype of yourself as the champion or whatever the case may be. But maybe the writing's on the wall with ROH. Like, you even said it yourself, can they find a TV deal? Why are you going to hold on to a championship that won't be defended a lot unless on pay-per-view only? They're not touring. They're not doing house shows. They're not doing anything right now. So maybe Johnathan Gresham's like, why am I going to wait for this stuff? Why am I going to wait to see where this company's going? I mean, he wants to go on the road. He wants to do what he was doing, like an Impact, like you said, like Terminus, like GCW, all this, or go around the world in England and Japan. Maybe, like, He said, "Fuck Tony Khan. I can't wait for ROH to be, up and running again. This is too much. I mean, FTR, the other guys have TV time on Dynamite. Jonathan Gresham probably felt insulted having TV time on Rampage. Not a lot of people are watching Rampage. I'm just
Valid,
saying.
valid. That's a valid reason. That is a valid reason. One can say. I'm pretty
And I
sure
know a
there's.
lot. And I know a lot of people said, "Well, why don't y'all guys make Rampage like the ROH shows?" Like, no, then you're dumbing down, you devaluing the second show that AEW has. It's
Exactly.
another organization.
And that'll you don't know how that's a big gamble to take, in terms of, first of all, let's be real. Um, Rampage is a filler show, obviously. It's not a show that gets the high ratings. It's not. It's never meant to be, because it's an hour show that's on. It comes on 10 o'clock on TNT. I would like for that show to be moved to Saturdays, like an old WCW Saturday night, but just on TNT, and have it come on at 6 o'clock or whatever, or 7. I would like that. So what you're saying with Gresham, your speculation on reasons for Gresham being upset, if those were in any in the ballpark, in the field at all, I can understand that. So I can't even try to defend. Like I said, I can defend the decision because of the rebranding.
Oh
But
yeah,
let's,
me too.
it's they need a TV deal. If Gresham wants to work, see the hardcore wrestling fan side of me is with you, Q. Yeah, take that title, defend it any way you can. Let him do that. Let him have his fucking his technical matches and shit, and other promotions and indie promotions. See if you can use that footage and put that shit on your website, or put that shit on a YouTube channel or something. Make Jonathan Gresham look like the serious worker that he can be. Yes, I get it. He's short, but the man has skills. I enjoy watching Jonathan Gresham wrestle. I am a mark for technical wrestling. That's me. I don't need to see the big men all the time. I don't need to see the flippity flips. At heart, I'm a technical wrestling guy. That's what I really like to see. I enjoy Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. I mean, not Bret Hart. That's not Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart, Benoit, Kurt Angle, who's all around. I enjoyed the stunning Steve Austin, the ringmaster. I like that technical shit. Dean Malenko was my guy. I don't give a fuck how many people may think that technical wrestling is boring and not into people like Zack Sabre Jr. That's just my taste. So I can really attest to what Q is saying as far as getting Jonathan Gresham out there. But as far as the match is concerned, Q is 100%. Jonathan Gresham got dominated by Cesaro. I don't know if that was the call. Maybe that was why he was upset. Maybe he felt he should have had more of a chance. Maybe to some it was like, listen, man, let's kind of be realistic here. If you guys got into a fight, he would probably wash you. But to me, Jonathan Gresham always came off. I said this in the past. I was like, he's the Daniel Cormier of professional wrestling. That's what he reminds me of. I don't know why he always reminded me of Daniel Cormier. He always did. I don't know what it is, but those two niggas remind me of each other. But it's just it was confusing to see him go over clean. I'm like, I thought this guy was a heel. A lot of shit didn't make sense as far as that match was concerned, but it was a good match. The ending was a bit anticlimactic. Not possession, position. The booking position of the match, opening the show, to me was wrong. Now, I, like other people, was torn between what should be the main event, FTR and the Briscoes. The Briscoes and FTR being the main event kind of made a little bit more sense than Cesaro versus Claudio versus Gresham, because of the history between the two tag teams. That being said, at least have Gresham and Cesaro be the
Match before. Yeah.
Exactly. You could have did that, and that would have been just fine. But that's not the route that they chose to go. And like I said, the match was cool. It wasn't a terrible match. It was very satisfying. And did the right person win? I have to say, yeah. Because again, you're rebranding. If this wasn't a rebranding, then I wouldn't have went with it. If It's, you know what? I say the right person won, but I say that reluctantly because everything in this match is just it's not a clear cut thing. You got like I said, you got the rebranding of ROH, you got the supposed rebranding of Johnathan Gresham, but for all we know, the argument led backstage could have led to him losing. Or he could, maybe, for all we know, it could have been that decision could have been made a long time ago, and that would have pissed him off. We only know what we know, and we're only gonna find out things as it progresses, as the story progresses. But I'm glad this happened. If he indeed cursed Tony Khan's ass out, I'm glad that fucking happened. And I hope to God that Tony Khan takes this as a message of letting other people handle shit. You got William Regal. You can let William Regal run ROH. You have a lot of smart people back there who can work with you and for you, where you don't have to do everything yourself.
Even Nana,
We know that
Nana
this
could do
man,
things behind the scenes. Yeah,
exactly. Stokely could as well. We know for a fact that this man is an ECW mark. We know Tony Khan was an ECW mark, and I even tweeted this to Tony a long time ago. What was the thing that brought ECW down, Mr. ECW mark? The fact that Paul Heyman was doing everything on his own. You cannot do all of this shit by yourself, okay? And listen, JoJo Smith, if you out there and you watching, if you have some information that says different, that hey, Tony Khan's really not doing everything by himself, then by God, let us know. You know, our man on the scene, our investigator, we got our own investigative reporter, JoJo Smith, all right? He's the investigative AEW liaison for the PWHustle. So if you get any news out there, JoJo, let us know. But the bottom line is, I hope that Tony Khan sees what happened. If the story is indeed true, and I hope to God that it is, I hope Tony takes that as a lesson to, maybe I shouldn't do everything myself. Maybe I should look at things in a different way. Maybe I shouldn't be such a fanboy mark for certain things. Maybe I should stop hugging people so goddamn much. You know what I'm saying? Before one of those hugs turns into a sexual harassment claim, and next thing you know, you're throwing out NDAs to male wrestlers because you hugging these niggas too tight. All right. But the second match we had.
Wait a minute. Let's put a bow on this. Where does Johnathan Gresham go now?
Impact. He's going to Impact. If they are smart, if Impact is smart, they'll pick that motherfucker up. Does he do anything for them? No. He doesn't. He doesn't move any needles. He doesn't even move the fucking thimble. Okay. So
you don't think NXT 2.0 Johnathan Gresham with a little character influx could do some things?
He'll be the equivalent to Butch. Okay, he'll be the equivalent to Butch. They won't even call him. They won't even say he's like a pit bull. They'll say he's like a chihuahua, a little mean chihuahua. They'll call that nigga the Yorkie. He won't be the octopus no more. He'll be the Yorkie, the Shih Tzu, or whatever the fuck. They will play that man's height, yo. He will not last in NXT. He won't.
Dude, I don't know why, but you made me interested in Johnathan Gresham right there with the Yorkie. I can see that shit. It's just interesting.
The Mad Yorkie.
Oh shit.
Oh man, you see.
I think we should tweet this segment to Gresham. Like, look, we got you. We know what you could do for NXT 2.0.
But I think if he did go to Impact, it'll be cool. It'd be better if he went to New Japan. To be honest with you, they'll book him better. They'll probably own that never openweight title division. That's for damn sure. But where he goes from here, if they do grant him his release, and I think that they will, he'll join his wife at Impact, and his wife. If you guys don't know, Jordynne Grace is his wife. Yeah, I know, right? Poor bastard. Pray for that man. He'll probably do some shit with his wife that actually might be entertaining. Maybe he can come up with some character where him and his wife is, side by side and they're dominating shit. I don't see. Listen, see, again, here's the problem. Let's say you're gonna make Johnathan Gresham champion, right? Gresham, I don't know how long Josh Alexander is gonna hold the Impact title for. But Gresham beating Alexander for the title makes way more sense than if Gresham was to beat a Moose. Could you imagine seeing him? Seeing him and Cesaro in the ring was awkward as fuck. Imagine seeing him and Moose in the ring together. You're gonna be like, what the? Is this nigga facing a child? Is this Kenny Omega all over again? You're like, what the fuck? You're like, he exposed the business. He wrestled some little black kid. He exposed the business. Like, no. That's an actual wrestler.
Oh, wait. And now I got him for NXT 2.0. The Haiti Kid 2.0. Oh, it would work. It could work. It could work. Oh, by the way, you gotta stop this. We're past the 30-minute mark.
Fuck the 30-minute mark. Fuck that shit.
It works, man. You can cut his hair like he did with that little circle in the back, and he be ball in the front. That shit works.
This nigga the Mr. T haircut too. Mr. T gonna join for WrestleMania. He's gonna come in.
Yo, he could pull it off, man. I'm serious.
Holy shit! The Haiti octopus.
Oh god, it just writes itself. You got the Mad Yorkie and the Haiti Kid.
That's the 30-minute mark. Tommy Wonder gonna be tweeting hashtagging Haiti Kid to Johnathan Gresham. So is Jeff Lippman probably. Oh, and before we start, I just want to welcome Jeff Lippman to the PWHustle. He's officially a part of the PWHustle. Hammerlock Hangover. That's going to be, if it's not on the PWHustle Podbean channel right now, it will be soon. And I know a lot of you are going to say, "Oh God, not Jeff Lippman," but yeah, oh God, Jeff Lippman. We see here at the PWHustle, we accept all. All right, we accept all. Some of you might hate him, some of you might like him, some of you might love him, but the man is here. And he'll be making a show. Listen, we're going to get a PW roundtable sooner or later. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this shit done. Because if I can't get the help from the Masked Man, then I'm going to have to start running this shit. And I'm not really as advanced as he is when it comes to doing this all recording shit. But if we can't get a roundtable, we're going to get Malik X on 1 week, Jeff Lippman on 1 week. Hopefully JoJo Smith will join us one day. We'll have Jamal Snow back on here. We'll have the man who's never wrong, Mr. Wright. He'll be back on here. We will try to get these guys on here. I want my little sister Tamara Davis to join us one day too as well. So we're going to try to progress and get more people on here to show the strength of the PWHustle. Because, you know, even if you're Walt Clyde, who's also invited on here, you have an open invitation, Walt. Bring yourself and your many accounts. Don't just limit yourself to our comment section. Come on the show and have a conversation. We'll be fair. We'll be open-minded. Don't worry about it. Me and you can do a show together. We'll blow the doors down, bro. Just don't hit on me.
That's the forbidden door.
That's the real forbidden door right there. We ain't hiding. We ain't ashamed. We ain't scared of nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's the way that it is. Shout outs to everybody out there making money. Y'all keep doing your thing. But yeah, so, you know, before Q fucking ended this nigga's career with hashtag Haiti Kid, Haiti Gresham.
I don't know. I think it sells itself, but go ahead. We can move on.
What was the second match we had? It was the
6-man tag team championships.
I'm gonna be honest. This match was my bathroom break / going to the store beer run match. So Q, you might run this down for him. All I can say is the only person that I was not the only person other than Dalton Castle that I really knew about was Vincent, because he's in ROH. I mean, he's in Impact under Honor No More. I don't know if he's still going to be with ROH. I know that they mentioned that he's in Impact doing his thing with PCO and whatnot. So Q, why don't you let them know your thoughts on this match, because I obviously cannot.
This felt like a one-off for the Righteous part, so this way they could get the belts off of them and put it on, you know, for Tony Khan purposes, put it on the 3 that he felt were deemed to have a good run with it, and that was Dalton Castle and the boys. I thought the match was, it was okay. It was decent for the moment. You know, it was a clusterfuck on certain spots. You know, what was it? Dalton Castle was like, "Bring me my boys," and he threw them up over the top rope, and then, you know, he did that like about 8 times. You know, he threw the boys over the top rope, and then, you know, went on to the Righteous for 8 times. So that was the one spot of the night. But at the end of the day, Dalton Castle and the boys are the new ROH 6-man tag team champions. So I say this, AEW talks about a trios championship. You don't need it. You got an ROH 6-man tag team champions.
Well, you gotta realize something. People have to realize that this is not gonna be incorporated into AEW like that. You'll have AEW guys over there, obviously, because look at what the champion is. But this is being run as a separate entity for now. We know that. So I get what you're saying. I 100% understand. But for that matter, you might as well say, what the fuck do you have titles for at ROH anyway? So you got to understand, it's not like the Raw and SmackDown brand. That's not happening. They're being run as their own entity, which I think is good. I want to see it like that.
I think the ROH 6-man tag team titles to me is the only titles, not the ROH championship, not the TV championship, not the tag team championships. The 6-man are the only titles that can kind of mix between themselves in ROH and in AEW, because then you have more interesting TV time for a 3-man teams. You know, the Young Bucks, the Elite, Adam Cole and Red Dragon and all that stuff. So you can always mix it back and forth.
Here's the problem with what they might do, and I think if they go the route of having AEW people get, like, they already have FTR with the belts, and they're not a part of the ROH brand exactly. And if you do that too much, then it's not going to feel like it's just a separate brand. You cannot have too many AEW guys walking around with ROH titles like that. You already got now. Listen, if the plan in itself is to have Claudio be more on this ROH show, whenever they get a deal, then he will be on Rampage or on Dynamite. That's fine. I have no issue with even having him come out with the Blackpool Combat Club if they cut a promo, if they're in some type of feud. I have no issue with that. But unless they're in some type of 4-on-4 feud, right? Or some shit where they all have to come out, I don't need to see Claudio on television every week when the ROH show happens, or if it happens. They're getting a show. It's going to happen. It's just all about when. So whenever it drops, you need to have ROH guys wrestle as less as possible on any AEW show if you're going to do this whole separate brand thing. So I don't mind seeing them on television. I don't mind seeing them on AEW television. But what I wouldn't mind is if they were on AEW fighting and in the ring every other week. I don't want to see that. Have it something that's special. But hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a nigga who's sitting in an apartment that looks like a jail cell, apparently. So, Tony Khan, man, I hope that you don't fucking get stupid or get McMahon on this whole thing, making it seem like it's not really its own product, because you keep having. Listen, like I said, right now there's no deal. So having guys on TV, giving them the exposure, 100% fine, 100% cool with that. I'm just saying, as soon as that starts, you got to fucking break away from that. What was the match we had after that?
The Battle of the Brothers, Dragon Lee and Roosh. That was the match you said you was looking forward to more than anything.
When I saw that match was on the card, I was immediately like, hell fucking yes. I am a big Roosh fan. I am a big Dragon Lee fan. I'm a bigger Dragon Lee fan. I always thought, this is just me, I always said, when I saw Dragon Lee compete in New Japan, I said, they're going to make a play for this guy for WWE. They are. And from what I understand it, they did. When they approached Roosh, I think they also approached Dragon Lee, and there was Andrade El Idolo who said, don't come here. Before he left, he said, do not come here. So I'm glad that Dragon Lee didn't end up in WWE, but I know it's going to sound kind of crazy. I had a feeling that if he did go to WWE, they would probably do right by him for the most part, at least in NXT. I don't know what he would do on the main roster, but I definitely knew that if he went to NXT, this guy would be treated like a star. Even if it is a developmental brand, I thought he's going to be treated like a star.
Probably so, yeah.
And for me, up until the main event, this match stole the fucking show. It was stealing the show. You know, you had the brothers, you know, embrace each other, you know, the code of honor. And once that happened, Roosh was like, I don't give a fuck if you're my brother. He was doing dirty, underhanded shit. The spot of the night for me was when fucking Roosh gave this nigga Dragon Lee, it was Dragon Lee who gave Roosh the over the head belly to belly suplex right on the apron onto the floor. That shit was fucking crazy. That shit was fucking crazy. Watching these guys go back and forth, I can watch these guys fight every fucking day, every fucking night. I mean, you would think that they would have the chemistry that they would have because they're brothers.
So is Dragon Lee gonna join the La Faction in AEW or no?
Well, according to our man in the streets, our man in the mean streets, the man with the microphone in these mean streets, our own liaison to ROH and AEW, JoJo Smith, Dragon Lee's apparently still signed to AAA. I don't think he's been made an offer. I don't think he's has been signed. If that's true, when ROH went dead, the three people I said Tony Khan needed to sign was Roosh, Bandito, and Dragon Lee, and immediately align them cats with Andrade. Have Los Ingobernables de AEW, but they're kind of doing that already. So who's to say what will happen? But Khan needs Dragon Lee in there ASAP. Okay, again, this is not somebody who's gonna a game changer who's gonna move needles. But as far as these mid to main storylines or whatever, the mid lower,
like you said, La Faction against Lucha Brothers would be great. So that those would be great matches on Dynamite or pay per view or All Out.
We can get awesome feuds, awesome matches. You know, you get the right person who can talk for them, awesome promos. So these guys all have swagger out the ass, okay? Andrade is just a swagger machine. He's just not that good with his English. Fucking Bandito also is as charismatic as fuck. Roosh, come on, man. The man oozes machismo. You know what I'm saying? And Dragon Lee is that dude, silent but deadly. And he's charismatic as well. And he don't even be talking that much. In the ring, he speaks for himself. He carries all three of those dudes, and Andrade included, all four, they carry themselves like badasses. You watch their work in New Japan. You watch their work in CMLL. You watch their work in AAA. These guys are fucking stars. They are stars. Maybe not top stars. I do still think Andrade is championship material. Listen, right now, Tony Khan, you can bring in Ric Flair, okay? No one cares anymore about the shit that happened on the plane. His last match shit is what people are talking about the most. Bring in fucking Ric Flair. Have him talk for Andrade. For all I care, they could be the Latino Four Horsemen. Okay, I don't know. I forgot how to say horse in Spanish. But Los Ingobernables, Los Infacción. Fine, bring in Ric Flair. Nobody cares about his helicopter penis tricks anymore. You can bring him in. But yeah. So I thought the match was awesome. I thought, the way Roosh won, pretending to be hurt and getting his brother's sympathy just to fucking pin him was a cool ass fucking thing. And evil shit. Let's face it, the man's a heel and he's gonna do heel shit. Fuck your code of honor. Cue your thoughts.
Well, I always go for the younger brother, so I was rooting for Dragon Lee. So that's just where my allegiance lies. So he got cheated. So that's the way it goes. The younger brother should have won against the older brother. That's the way I'll say it.
All right, so what we had next? Was it Serena Deeb versus
Mercedes Martinez?
Yeah, Serena Deeb versus Mercedes Martinez. And a match which I thought that I personally was going to be bored by. And I go back, sometimes I go back and forth with Billy Ray over, if the crowd is not there, it doesn't matter because the match could still be hot even if the crowd is just sitting on their hands. This match was not as boring as I thought. As a matter of fact, the match wasn't boring at all. The crowd the whole night wasn't like electrified, but they weren't really sitting on their hands. And there were a lot of parts in this match where they were able to still keep the crowd. And I thought that was a testament to what they were doing in the ring. And they were doing some real good technical shit, man. I thought these two, I don't know how well these two women know each other, but their chemistry was fucking awesome. The match was fucking awesome. I like Serena Deeb. I like Mercedes Martinez. They're not like on my top 10 right now of women, but I like them. I like their in ring work. I like how Mercedes Martinez carries herself. I'm scared of that bitch. All right? So she Mercedes carries herself the way Ronda should carry herself. The way Ronda was carrying herself before she left. We need to go back to that. That Ronda needs to come back. But I like how Mercedes carries herself. I like the moves that these ladies were doing, and Serena Deeb can really take some fucking punishment because Mercedes was stretching her fucking skinny ass out in a lot of places, a lot of times in this match. I thought, oh, that move that Serena Deeb. See, I can't remember the hold that she had her in when she was like on her back and she had her arms lynched out. Serena Deeb being her height and Mercedes Martinez being the height that she is made that submission look so fucking awesome and so fucking authentic and so fucking painful. And how she transitioned herself out of that was awesome too. Now, what was funny about this was Mercedes Martinez is signed. She's an ROH AEW gal. They took the title off of Deonna Purrazzo. Big fucking mistake. He should have kept the title on her. That's for damn sure. But Tony wants to have his people, whatever. So I said, okay, who's going to go over on this match? Going in, I don't think a lot of people paid attention too much because why would they? It's not like she's setting the world on fire. She's not a Britt Baker. Serena Deeb was talking about how she never really got an opportunity or got a championship. So they were she was like the females of Claudio going into this match. And it just so happens the outcome wasn't the same as Claudio's. She lost, and she lost in cool fashion, in respectable fashion. They did more than just shake hands. They hugged each other. The audience gave them their appreciation after the match was over because that was a really good fucking match. It was a match where I said to myself, I'm gonna end up watching this shit again. To see if it qualifies as a female match of the year candidate. So I really dug it. Q, what were your thoughts?
I think I'll say this. I think Serena Deeb is a great chaser for any of the belts, the ROH belt, the AEW belt, or the TBS belt. So she'll have the good matches, and she'll get.
Oh, one thing. Serena, you are using the professor's name. Royalties.
She's one of my favorite female wrestlers. She's the professor. I'm good with that. It's okay.
Hey, well, we just can't have people stealing your gimmick now.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I'm always flattered.
That's cool.
But I'll say this: she's a great chaser, and she can make these champions into legitimate champions. If you question if Mercedes should be the ROH Women's Champion, having a match with Serena Deeb validated Mercedes as a champion, just like Thunder Rosa validated her legitimacy as the AEW Women's Champion. And maybe, I don't think Jade Cargill needs it, but have Serena challenge her for that championship. And Jade will be legitimized even more. That's the way I look at it. Serena, I don't see, if you want to gift her a women's title just for loyalty or just doing the job that she's done, yeah, you could do that for her. But I just don't see her as a champion right now. I just see her just legitimizing other champions.
Well, you see, you mentioned Jade Cargill, which I thought was interesting because she's working with Daniel Bryan, but I also think she should be working with Serena Deeb as well, and behind the scenes, and because Jade is still green. She has the charisma, she has the mic work. She's just, she's not there yet in ring, and they put the championship on her. Even with the controversy with the Big Swole, the plan was always to have Jade as champion. That's why one of the reasons why I was so pissed at Tony Khan when he came out with this fucking retort after Big Swole said what she said, because it's like now you just tainted Jade's victory. And people are going to look at Jade as a token champion because you're trying to save face for what Big Swole said. Even though anyone in the know saw this happening. They saw that Jade was on her way to getting that championship. We all was like, yeah, Jade, that's made for Jade. But she should be working with Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb is, I think, could be a very good coach backstage to the ladies. Maybe she is, for all we know. But I do know that She needs to reach out to Jade a little bit more so Jade can still brush up her skills. It really makes no difference between learning from a man and a woman. I just, knowing how she is, like, to me, one of their best in-ring female workers, I don't think it would hurt her at all. So we both enjoyed that match. And next up, we had the Pure Championship, Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta. In this match, there was no doubt in my mind. Some people felt that Danny Garcia was going to go over. I was like, nah, they're not going to do that to Wheeler Yuta yet. Nah, he's fresh coming into the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio got the win. They're building up this faction. Daniel Bryan is coming back now. He's been cleared, so he'll be in the ring again soon. So you had this pure match, and I thought this pure match was purely entertaining. When did they come up with this idea for the Pure Championship?
The ROH has always had the Pure Championship. They just reignited it during the pandemic.
Okay, because I really couldn't remember this shit, and I was like, why is this reminiscent of when Impact had the Grand Championship? It was just better with the rules as far as it was concerned. That's why I was like, I don't remember this shit like that. I was trying to remember, but they always had it, so that's cool. They had the judges out there. I forgot who the judges were, but I just know one of the last judges was the last Pure Champion, so that made it a little bit interesting to see how it would go if it went the distance. What I thought was funny is William Regal was on commentary, being a total boss, and he said, if this match goes the distance and it comes down to decision, even if Wheeler Yuta wins, he's in trouble.
You'll get fucked up by the Blackpool.
So yeah, exactly. So when William Regal said that, hold on, let me fix my light here. So when William Regal said that, I said, yeah, he's not going to decision. He's winning this shit. I mean, that may have been for me. It may have been the call where I was like, all right, you just told me the outcome of this match. But it was great. And William Regal throughout this match on commentary was great. I don't know when I was talking about Tony Khan doing everything alone and whatever. I don't know what William Regal's role is backstage, but William Regal definitely needs to have some type of booking role, coach role, some type like like I said, he should be helping to run the ROH brand. Straight up, he should help run the ROH brand. He comes out with Wheeler Yuta anyway, so him being on commentary for every Wheeler Yuta match is fine with me. And you can have a pure title match on an AEW show and on a Rampage or Dynamite, but again, Wheeler Yuta is an AEW guy, so he's going to be in the ROH brand. So there goes that conundrum again about what I was saying about keeping guys with ROH titles off of AEW television when you get an ROH deal as much as possible. So
that's where the speculation will always rise with the if the TV deal will actually come to fruition, if a streaming deal comes to fruition. You just have to, mix in your AEW guys with the ROH storylines, and you have those pay-per-views. So that's what you do. But you're right, Track, about this match. This was the most entertaining pure match that I've seen in the second existence of the pure thing, because the pandemic one was okay, but there was no crowd. But Josh Woods, I actually liked as the pure champion. But this match was one of the best pure matches that ROH did in the last 2 years. I agree.
I enjoyed it, man, because both these guys. See, Wheeler Yuta he's not there yet. He can be. That's why they have him working with William Regal. And listen, as long as you have William Regal talking for him until he finds his right voice, and until he starts carrying, he needs to mean mug a little bit more. He needs to carry himself to that ring with a little bit more, hardcore badass swag. Because sometimes he still comes out there like this. He needs to, You
even heard it from William Regal how he liked Daniel Garcia. You're like, well, we can't have everybody join the Blackpool.
Exactly, and I'm glad he said that, because a lot of people to this day still felt Garcia should have been that member that Wheeler Yuta was not. Maybe they should have reversed it. Maybe Wheeler Yuta should have been a sports entertainer, and Danny Garcia should have been, because I scratched my head too when Daniel Garcia when Wheeler Yuta joined. I was like, okay, but why not Daniel Garcia? He comes off more as somebody who would be a part of the Blackpool Combat Club, or who should be a part of the Blackpool Combat Club. But I don't think he'll be joining. I don't think that's happening. I think they got the young guy in Wheeler Yuta. And also, let's remind people, because I think the VCC is the best thing that they got going right now. But let's remind people that you got to create a star out of this. And if you're going to do that, then it has to be Wheeler Yuta. Moxley's already a star. Claudio's a star in his own right. Daniel Bryan's a star. So Wheeler Yuta is the one who needs to benefit from this the most. And with the way he had the crowd today, I think he might just be on his way if they keep that up. Of course, you're still going to have people say that the man has the charisma of a paper bag, and not give him the benefit of the doubt, or give him the cut him some slack on the fact that he's still relatively new, and that shit takes time. We always talk about how shit takes time, but then when it's somebody that you're not really feeling, you automatically say, oh, no, go. But you don't want to give him no time. Same thing what I said about Austin Theory. This is not somebody who the people chose. Maybe in time he can get better. Just don't put the strap on him right now. How we was going back and forth with ideas about what you can do to help build that character up. It's the same thing with Wheeler Yuta. Come up with ideas to help build that character up. Have him in some feuds. Give him that anime fighting spirit character. Have him be one of those people where when he just gets hyped, the audience loses their mind, because when he gets hyped, he starts doing fucking crazy awesome shit. The audience got hyped when they started exchanging the slaps back and forth, on their knees, going slapping each other. You can have that be a part of the Wheeler Yuta in the ring gimmick. I wouldn't mind that if he gets to the point where he always has these back and forth hockey slap fights or punches with his opponents. You can have him be that, So as long as the focus of this faction is that a young star has to come out of it, more than just getting the faction over, I have no problem with Wheeler Yuta being in this faction, as long as Wheeler Yuta starts to become a star. Go ahead, Q.
I agree with that. I think Wheeler Yuta is, little time will tell where they're going with him. Being the pure champion helps him to do a lot of things for himself, to build his legitimacy, to build his credit. So with this match, I thought it was a no-brainer that Wheeler Yuta was going to go over. I just didn't think it would have been funny that Daniel Garcia would have won the pure championship and kind of like ruined the belt, like Naito ruined the IWGP Intercontinental belt. It would have been funny to me, but that's thinking sports entertainment style. This is ROH pure. This is the pure pro wrestling title. You can't do that to that belt. You can't mess up ROH already that quickly when you're trying to rebrand it and then re-energize it. So if you're gonna dismiss that belt with Daniel Garcia winning it, that already would have just took Tony Khan to a level that he couldn't answer that call right there.
Also, you see the sports entertainment shit from Daniel Garcia in the match. He wasn't keeping that shit totally clean. He wasn't even shaking that motherfucker's hand when the match was over. He's like, fuck you, nigga. I'm a sports entertainer. I don't really care about this shit. I'm going to do this shit sports entertainment style. And for a lot of times in that match, he did.
The bird. That's what he did. He said, fuck ROH.
Pretty much. And then we got the TV title match. This is another match that I was looking forward to, because it was old school ROH. You had Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal, teacher versus student, for the TV title. Now, I was curious to see who would win this match. I couldn't say. I didn't think that this match was predictable, because I said to myself, they have Lethal with Sanjay Dutt. They have this Satnam Singh, as I like to say, a guy who's just 2 bits more athletic than Great Khali. They got him, so maybe Jay Lethal might go over on this, and they'll use Samoa Joe to put him over, because Samoa Joe is getting up there in age, and his body ain't the same. Actually, I think both these cats are around the same age, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Joe might be a little bit older, but the whole story going into this match was the history of these two and how Jay Lethal pretty much grew up under Samoa Joe. Joe was his mentor. They showed a video package that had these two go that showed these two back in the day. So you saw the build. You saw the
and he
story.
beat him for the pure title back in the day. So that made
Yes.
that brought up the intrigue and history of that. I didn't even know I didn't keep up with ROH back in the 2000s. So it was an intriguing. It was 17 years in the making, the way that the Jay Lethal brought it up. And they went into this with Jay Lethal being more upset. He almost was crying like, I gotta beat him. I have to beat him. This is my time to beat him. Like you said, student against TJ. He wanted to, old lion and young lion. He wanted to take him down, but he was so frustrated. Samoa Joe got into his mental without even knowing it. That's the way it looked to me.
Which tells me that this feud might not actually be over. And if it's
I
not,
don't think so either.
if it is over, it shouldn't be. I like the idea of Lethal not just chasing the TV title, but just chasing Joe. Saying I have to beat Joe. I can't be the best unless I beat Joe. So even if Joe was to lose the title, keep the story going with just Jay Lethal chasing Samoa Joe. You can have them be in a different angle, and 6 months later come back to Joe. That's 100% fine with me. You can build. This can be a year-long feud. It can be one of those feuds where it stops with Joe or Lethal going after somebody else, or somebody else going after them, and then it ends up right back where we started with Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe. You can even have them team up at one point, and reluctantly, and it just goes right back to them all over again. It's like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We're meant to do this for life, so you can have that happen. Now, the match in itself was exactly what you thought it would be between mentor and mentoree. Student versus teacher. It had it. There was no act of cowards in this fucking match. You know what I'm saying? And it was a really good back and forth. It wasn't like one single person dominating the match. They both had their moments of great psychology and good storytelling going into this match. This match to me was this match was what the first match should have been. It was ROH. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. And to be honest with you,
this match should have started the pay-per-view. This would have been a great heater to start.
You could say that. You exact. Thank you, Q. Good fucking call. Because the ROH that we were going to, me, you, and Billy Ray and Kenneth Chan, that's what this reminded me of. When we used to see those matches with Owens and Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards and so on and so forth, and the Roderick Strongs and so forth. This was that. This was ROH in itself, showing you what ROH is supposed to be, what it should be about. I dug the match. As far as the outcome, I could have went either way. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't upset. I was indifferent to it. It didn't really matter to me because we were all the winners at the end of the day. Just to see Joe versus Lethal. Go ahead, Q.
I would say I'm indifferent too, but the way you said that this could be a year-long story, I'm with it for Samoa Joe to keep the title. But also you said Samoa Joe is up there in age, but not up there in age, but his body just, how much is left in the tank for the body? Can he do that, the rugged, durable stuff that he's used to doing? The mind's there, but the body's not.
And they shouldn't have this man wrestling as much as he can. If there's anybody that needs to be a part-time in ROH, it's Samoa Joe. Save the man's body. Don't have him on TV every week. Samoa Joe, in my opinion, when they start the ROH show, whenever it starts, he shouldn't have a match every week. He should have like a match like once a month, if anything. He just needs to be a part-timer. He, like I said, like you were saying about his body, he's had a ton of injuries. The man is injury prone. He is. So don't use him as much as you can. And like I said, you can still have this feud with him being a part-timer. You can do that. Joe could be the Brock Lesnar, where when he does come, people say, "Oh shit, So I'm not saying give him 2-minute matches where he just fucking runs through people in 5 minutes or whatever, 2 minutes, and that's it. But you just have him be that destroyer because that's what Joe is. So yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right. And the last match he had was, I think, that pay-per-view. It was Revolution that we didn't see Samoa Joe for a minute or something like that. So yeah, keep him part-time. Do vignettes, do promos, and just keep the mind fresh. That's all you need from him, and that's good with me.
And if all you people are like, "Where's Samoa Joe?" You'd be like, "Okay, good. Samoa Joe's not around. Yes, good. Save him. And you don't need to have that, man. If you give a shit about Samoa Joe, then you understand what we're saying. And we're saying what we're saying because we give a fuck about the man's health. We don't want to see the man cripple. We don't even want to, we overall just don't want to get cheated out of matches we could have because he's overworking himself. So if you don't understand
the funny thing, let me just say this, the funny thing, if Jay Lethal won the television title, he wouldn't be on AEW TV a lot, I bet. He'd be gone almost. So you actually saved Jay Lethal's TV time on AEW TV wholeheartedly right there. He could talk about how he got cheated on Rampage, how Samoa Joe cheated him out of his destiny or whatever the case may be, and keep building on this match. So Jay Lethal won here by losing.
Pretty much, because that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So we got the main event. The Briscoes versus FTR, and no matter what we've heard about people not wanting them on the certain executives not wanting them on the brand or wanting them on TV, and maybe this is a sign that they do have the television deal that they have, because if they didn't, why would you want these guys? Why would you sign these guys who have unfortunate controversies surrounding them because of some dumb shit that they said, or not they, but I think one of them said a few years back about the LGBTQ community, the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the community. Yes.
Yeah. So, but the fact of the matter is, let
me just say this. I think a lot of people again are thinking that the Discovery will put ROH on any channel, True TV or TLC or whatever. There's a problem here, Track. ROH is still a competitor to AEW, logistically. So it's not Discovery's responsibility to find time. This ain't Ted. There ain't no Ted Turner saying, "Well, we'll put him on TLC. We'll put him on True TV. Give him 2 hours every Friday night or whatever." It doesn't work that way. If Tony Khan's gonna get a TV deal, it's gonna be on the NBC side. You got Sci-Fi, you got USA Network, you got all that stuff. You got to find a different channel. You got to do that.
They're not making any deals with Universal because they.
I'm just saying. I think a lot of people.
That's not gonna happen.
But
to me, True TV is the perfect channel for them, or country music television. You got a lot. Hicks love wrestling, so put them on country music television. What's the problem? I don't see the issue.
I don't know if a lot of wrestling fans are gonna flock to country music television. Well, it just is hard.
It's an option.
It's hard to find a channel like that.
No, but that CMT is everywhere.
CMT is everywhere. I'm just saying, for wrestling fans, are they gonna flock to it? Remember, Impact Wrestling went to Destination America. Not a lot of people flock to Destination America. I'm just saying that. Not a lot of people flock to Impact Wrestling from Pop TV.
They're gonna put. That's what I was about to say. They're gonna put ROH on Pop TV.
So that's the thing I'm trying to say. It's like, how many wrestling fans are going to follow? You got to put it on the right channel. It's got to be the right, it's got to be the right environment for ROH. That's what I'm just saying. It's like, for the Discovery thing with Briscoes, it's still, the Briscoes doesn't deserve to be punished like that. They paid their dues, in my humble opinion. They should be on AEW TV, in my opinion. They should be, in the AEW tag team division. They deserve it. They deserve that platform for themselves. But if you're going to still keep that, if that LGBTQ comment is going to still hinder them, I don't. That's why I'm just saying, like, they're going to have to find another TV deal somewhere else.
It is what it is, nevertheless. But the main event, FTR versus the Briscoes, and the question going in this match was, could they top the first match? I don't know about you, Cubes. I'm about to ask you in a minute. I think they topped the first match. I think the sequel, I think this was Terminator 2. I think this was the Karate Kid 2. I think this was, Aliens. So what do you think?
I think it's on even par with Supercard of Honor. They both are good matches in both in different ways, and it validated what I've been saying about FTR, the revival since 2016. They were better than the Bucks then. They're better than the Bucks now. So I just am so proud of them, and I gotta get. You know what? I did a disservice to FTR. I'm gonna buy an FTR shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. I don't care about the design. I gotta buy. I got the revival shirt. I gotta buy an FTR shirt.
There you go. And if that match got Q wanting to buy a shirt, then there you go. Now this match had everything. Had your catch can, had your brawling, had your hardcore shit, it had your blood, it had your sweat, it had your tears. Dash and Wheeler.
Forget that. The first 30 seconds, they were just looking at each other, and the people were on their feet clapping. That's all that needs to be said.
That shit, it was like, you know what that felt like? It felt like Rock versus Hogan. When they would just stare at each other and the crowd was like, shit, and they would just go from one side to the other and shit. That was the feel that shit had. And they knew going in that they had to top the first match. They knew that, and it was like, man, I couldn't believe it, man. Like, you had I think they were crying I think they were crying during the match. I'm like, what the fuck? Like the Briscoes, to me, the Briscoes that night, last night, if a lot of people weren't convinced, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, because again, let's just point this out, that's all that exists, wrestling fans and hardcore wrestling fans, no casuals, all right? If you're a wrestling fan, a hardcore wrestling fan, if you weren't convinced before, you should be now, that the Briscoes are one of the greatest tag teams of the modern era, period. If not the best. If not the best. I am a Young Bucks fan. I am an Usos fan. I am an FTR fan. I was a American Wolves fan. I love the Good Brothers when they were in New Japan. But you know what? The Briscoes are the fucking shit. Period. Like everything you want in a tag team, you have them. You had two cats who could be championship material because they were both tag team they were both ROH champions. They could talk. They're legit badass chicken farming motherfuckers. These niggas got shit loads of kids. Like they're that team,
I got pushback track when I called them the tag team of the decade on the Professor's Perspective Awards. I put them over.
And you know what? If those who gave you all of that shit, if they're watching now, then they should apologize. Because through the war, that shit was a war. It wasn't even a match. It was a war of respect. It was a war of I can be better than you. It was a war of the personal shit that I'm going through because they both went through some shit, especially Dash. The personal shit that I'm going through means more to me than the personal shit that you're going through, and this is why I'm going to win this match. The theme for FTR was fight like an eight-year-old girl because of this cat's daughter who had some health issues that she fought back from. So you had that drama going into it, which I thought was pretty fucking emotional for me to watch, especially nowadays. I'm just an emotional fucking mess with a lot of shit that I've been going through. So I felt that story. I'm not saying the match had to be emotional, but the build up and what he was talking about, it can catch you, And these four men, like JR said, these men gave you their heart, they gave you their sweat, they gave you their blood. They went out there, man, and they fucking. This is not about anti any promotion. This is just about awesome tag team wrestling. You think about all the matches you've seen, all the feuds, the Road Warriors, the Pan Am Connection, what was the other tag team?
Brainbusters. You got a lot. Bulldogs, Heart Foundation, Killer Bees,
everybody,
Rock and Roll, Midnight.
Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, The Rockers, You know what I'm saying? The heavenly bodies. Just all those tag teams you remember, all those great tag matches and feuds that you saw. It was like this match was a testament to all of that, to everything that you would love to see in four men who are supposed to do what they're supposed to do, which is make what you're seeing believable. And that's what they did. They had the emotion. The post match shit was fucking great. Before I even get to that, the post match, Q, just give me your thoughts on the match overall, man.
Again, 3 falls. It went 50 minutes. I was thoroughly satisfied seeing that. All 4 of them bled. That was good. All 4 of them, what was it? Dax had his chest bleeding. Dax had a cut over his eye. Cash had a cut over his eye. Mark Briscoe had a cut over his eye. Am I missing something? There was, again, like you said, it was 4 legitimate badasses trying to say who was the best tag team ever, and FTR came out on top. I got no problem with that. Like I've been saying since 2016, and I know some people here, were making fun of me when they were the NXT tag team champions. I used to say they were better than the Bucks then. It was like, and I got this look like, huh? I was like, no, they're better. They're the best tag team, and I've always gravitated towards FTR, Revival, whatever you want to call them, because they understand tag team wrestling. If you want to talk about the post match, I actually want to talk about the media scrum because there was a little clip of the media scrum that Dax said that I just want to make sure that all the Hustleites know.
Yeah.
Well, during the media scrum, he validated that Jim Cornette. He said, like, not verbatim, that he, like, the people like Jim Cornette and Booker T and people like that kind of criticize certain things that, and the funny thing about if they criticize him, he's not mad at them. He's not mad at Jim Cornette for criticizing him. He's not mad at Booker T for criticizing him. He says they earned the right to criticize because they paved the way for me to, have the life I'm having, have the money I'm making, and all that stuff. So I actually think for a lot of people in the IWC, YWC,
and it was Tony Khan who said this, or Dax Harwood?
It was Dax Harwood.
Okay.
And I think for the IWC, YWC people, the Hustleites, for everybody who always has that kind of snark, that snarky remark like, oh, well, it's Jim Cornette making a criticism towards AEW. Well, you know what? If Dax Harwood could listen to a criticism and make himself better, there's nothing wrong with hearing what Jim Cornette's criticism is. And the funny thing, when he said that about Cornette, I'm like, Cornette's never criticized FTR. He's always been on Team FTR. He's just been saying, like, AEW needs to book FTR right. And now they're booking FTR right for the last couple of months. So for this whole year, FTR, the only thing that I actually was proven wrong, Track, and I'll admit this, I didn't think they could make it as baby faces. I wasn't a fan of them being baby faces, honestly. I thought they were better heels for the moment. But you know what? For the fans to gravitate towards them, and for Dax Harwood's heartfelt promos like "Fight Like an 8-year-old girl," and all that stuff, they proved me wrong. They proved the Professor wrong, and I'm glad for that. And again, Professor's Perspective Tag Team of the Year. That voting's already closed. It's FTR.
Yo, so after the match, Dash cut this fucking insanely awesome vulgar promo, about I fucking love wrestling, I fucking love this shit, this, that, and the third, giving props to his opponents and the whole nine. So I thought that I love that. That was what I loved most about the match was the post match promo, and the main event, like I've always said, is what you look at to overall judge a show, And for me, I gave the show a thumbs up. Out of 1 out of 5, I gave the show a 4.5. I thought it was a good show. I thought it had some hiccups here and there, but there was nothing where I said, okay, this show was awful. And the main event fucking delivered, and they topped their first match, and it's only a matter of time before Dash Harwood and Cash Wheeler to get the AEW titles and complete everything that they've done. And then when they beat Swerve and Keith Lee, black people will complain about how, the Culture lost the tag team titles. But it's not bad because if they lose the title, listen, those are the only people who should be beating them right now for those titles. It's FTR. Period.
Well, it should have been them. It should have been FTR and Young Bucks for the whole shebang.
It should have been part 2, but and we still might get that, somewhere down the line. But if you're gonna take the belts off when you take the belts off of Swerve and Strickland, unless it's gonna be the Young Bucks again, so we can get that match, it should be FTR. And so Q, what was your overall score on the ROH show?
I gave it a 4 because of the heavyweight title match being the beginning, and then everything when I looked at that match, it just didn't add up to the Professor. So I gave it a 4. The 2 out of 3 fall match, that gave it a 4 for everything else.
The match itself was fucking 5-star.
Oh yeah,
it was. And if I don't really give a fuck about Meltzer's opinions or ratings or whatever, even if I do pay attention to them. It's not the end all be all for me, but he's got to give this shit a fucking 5-star. Of course he's gonna go there.
Well, FTR says they're 7 stars, so it better be 7 stars.
Yeah, for real. If you didn't think this match was 5 or more stars, then you're just fucking hating. All right, that's the bottom line. And speaking of hating,
oh boy,
yeah. It is time for that segment, for the new segment, the new hot segment that everybody loves, that you're all clamoring for. You're all like, we need this shit. You're like Rick James in the Party All the Time video. You're like, I need this shit. The moronic madness that is Walt Clyde. This segment right here that you're gonna see is gonna be in a separate video. So if you want to see the multiverse of moronicness from Walt Clyde, if you want to see that, click on the link below, all right? Because this is going to be the second part of the video. Because this shit is just going to be so long. I don't want to keep you motherfuckers here forever. I know you can skip ahead too, but we're not going to do that. This is our employee. We're going to give him all the respect and admiration that he deserves.